sense out is that Jesus is like, all right, goodbye! We're turning up the lights. You're not camping here. Go away. See ya. Why? Because then he heads up the mountain to pray, because Jesus needed a break. Jesus needed a break. You see, we live in lives that are faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Sitting down talking with my grandma earlier this week. Grandma's seen massive amounts of change in her life. We live in a different world than when she was my age or she was a child. We have more labor-saving devices now. We have vacuum cleaners. We don't have to take the rugs out and beat them outside all the time. We have microwaves where you can make a meal in minutes. We have automatic dishwashers and washers and dryers for our clothes. I said first service, I can't imagine doing the amount of laundry that we do in our household in a stream, or even through one of those old washing machines with the rollers that pinch themselves together and you stuck the clothes through it.
Yep.
People say, yeah, you just wouldn't change your clothes then if you had to do that. You just wear some stank. I don't want to really think about that, so I might take that illustration a bit farther. But we have more and more stuff. I have a cell phone that's about this big that is so cool. It has more power than my first computer when I got a Commodore 64. Can I get a witness up in here? I can communicate with many of you, a good chunk of you, almost instantly via email. With a few clicks, I can broadcast an email and not pick up a phone and call you, or worse yet, smoke signals, or ride a horse to your house to give you a message. And yet, my life and your life is busier and busier and busier than it ever has been. We try to do more and more and more stuff than we ever have. You need a break. And not only that, we have created an environment and a culture where we are never silent. How do you wake up in the morning? You wake up to the sun?
Alarm clock?
No. I wake up to a 3-year-old. You wake up to the When you wake up to the 89.5 FM, the Family Friendly Music Station. This is Chris Gilbreth. Without Michelle, but I hope she comes back soon. And then what happens? You go to get your shower, and you walk in the bathroom, and you turn on the radio in the bathroom. Because we'd hate to not have the radio on. Because Chris is that cool. Yeah. And then you stumble out into the living room and the kitchen, and you turn on Channel 7 because you got to see Larry Gebhardt and wherever he happens to be today. Doing who knows what with some strange people that really should never be on television. Amen to that, brother. And then you jump in your car, and some of you are passionate about personal growth, and so you turn on the book on tape, teaching you something important while you drive to work. Some of you go back to Chris. Some of you go to another station and we're praying for you. And we never stop and have silence. We never stop to be quiet. We don't stop all the noise. And we wonder why we feel a little bit frazzled, a little bit on edge, a little scattered, because we're never quiet. I find it funny here at the Experience, if you're visiting, this is the time to play tic-tac-toe with your neighbor and beat them aggressively. We encourage full body contact, tic-tac-toe. I find it funny here because this is a place we based on relationships and acceptance, and you know what, people got to move and stuff, but it's funny to me because sometimes it feels like the people here were afraid to sit in the presence of God. Oh, we got to go grab another cup of coffee because we're not going to make it through the service. We don't go have another caffeine hit. We got to go run and talk to somebody out back because then out the hallway and not be in the presence of God because then I might miss out on something else if I don't. And we can't stop and be quiet in the presence of God. We can't stop and be still. Psalms 37:7 says, "Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for Him to act." Be still, be quiet, take a break. You know, I got to admit that there's times that I wonder. I wonder what we're doing and what I live my life for and I'm so passionate about. There's times, I got to be honest, that I wonder, is this whole thing real? Is this whole thing real, or is this the most elaborate fabrication that's been ever known to man? This whole God thing, is this real, or is this interesting manipulation? And people's need and desire to have control or to make sense of their lives or whatever it might be. And I hear the words of Psalm 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Because usually that happens when I've been really, really busy and I haven't been still in the presence of God. Been really still and really busy and not stopped to listen to Him. When I basically put myself in the place of God, saying I've got to get more done, then I stop giving God a place. Be still and know that I am God. Have you had your break today? You see, this whole concept of being quiet and stopping and resting, Jesus needed it. It's in the very fabric of who God is, to rest, to have peace. It goes back to Genesis chapter 2. That's the first book of the Bible. Just scroll pages in the other direction, and just a few pages in, you'll find the first book of the Bible, Genesis. We go to the second chapter. And this is the summation of the coolest special effects story ever. How many people here are crafty? Crafty people, unite. Put up your hands. You're crafty. Love to do crafty things. Be bold, be brave, put them up high. There's more crafty people than this. Okay, crafty people, thank you. How many of you guys like to build stuff? Men like to do wood, hammer, nail, cut stuff. Like to drive heavy machinery, run power tools. Have you driven a cat at some point? Have you driven a dump truck? Yeah, it's okay if you're a woman. You can raise your hand too. It's okay. It's not just guys. I'll give you a little lesson I learned about dump truck driving, just by the way. It's real simple. It's a really important thing that I learned about dump truck driving now. And that is actually check the back before you drive off. I was driving a dump truck, and there was a big piece of concrete that was halfway in and halfway out, hadn't fallen out, and I drove off without looking. And I'm driving down the road and see it's catapulting down the road behind me.
Oh, man.
Fortunately, there was no one else on the road that I was on. I just come off the road when Michelle and the girls used to travel sometimes with us and would drive behind the truck that I was driving, which wasn't a dump truck. But I had this flashback to what if that was my wife in the vehicle and then a large piece of concrete. So yeah, just make sure it's down and nothing's back there. It's just my lesson for the day. If you don't get anything out of it, it's good if you drive dump truck today.